My hand freezes on my keyboard the moment I hear the laughter. Voices mix together like an avalanche of mockery, echoing through the entire office. I don't look up yet. I already know something terrible is happening. I can feel it the way animals feel earthquakes before they hit. When I finally turn my chair around, my boss Douglas Hargrove is standing by my desk with the proudest smile I've ever seen. In his hands is a printed sign, crooked and hastily taped to my monitor. The letters are bold and black. My chest tightens. This isn't a joke between friends. This is a public execution dressed up as humor. Pamela, Douglas announces, his voice dripping with fake cheerfulness. You seemed overwhelmed with responsibility. Thought you could use a reminder of your actual position. The office erupts. All 17 people in my department are pointing, laughing, recording. My strategy deck, the one I spent 3 weeks perfecting, is gone from my desk. So is my client presentation folder. Everything that proved I was someone important vanishes before my eyes. I don't scream. I don't cry. I don't even defend myself. Instead, I smile calmly, remove the sign, and tear it into 4 pieces. My hands don't shake. My voice doesn't crack. I look Douglas directly in the eyes with a smile that says I know something he doesn't know yet. Then I turn back to my computer and start working like nothing happened. But it does hurt. God, it does hurt. The humiliation sits in my chest like a stone. My face burns. My heart pounds. So hard I think everyone can hear it. But I keep typing. I keep working. And I keep watching Douglas in my peripheral vision. Watching as his smile falters just slightly when he realizes I'm not breaking down. He expected rage. He expected tears. He expected me to quit or scream. I give him silence instead. By noon, the real damage begins. I try to access the shared drive, and my credentials don't work. Calendar invites disappear from my inbox. Budget folders lock. It's like Douglas is systematically erasing me from existence. By 1 p.m., I receive an email from Victor, my direct report. Douglas said you're handling lighter tasks today. Said you're overwhelmed. Is that true? My blood turns to ice water. Douglas is already isolating me. He's already starting the narrative. Pamela is overwhelmed. Pamela needs to be demoted. And then, at 1:47 p.m., something catches my eye. A notification pings in my financial system. I open my approval logs and my stomach drops. There's a massive approval for a new vendor, Pinnacle Systems Holdings, and the amount is staggering. $2.1 million. And the signature attached to it is mine. But I never authorized this. I never even saw this vendor before. The timestamp reads 2:17 a.m. on a Monday morning. I wasn't in the office at 2:17 a.m. I was at home sleeping 30 miles away, completely unaware that someone was using my name and credentials to authorize massive financial transactions. My hands start shaking. This is bigger than office politics. This is fraud. This is identity theft. Someone is setting me up. And if this gets discovered by the wrong people, the blame falls entirely on me. I'm the account manager. The approval has my signature. If this vendor turns out to be fake, if this money disappears, I'm the one who goes to prison. I take a screenshot, then another, and another. This isn't just office politics anymore. This is fraud, and I'm the perfect scapegoat. Douglas thinks he's dismantling my reputation with a humiliating sign. He has no idea he's about to hand me the evidence that will destroy his entire career. I spend the rest of the afternoon documenting everything. By 5 p.m., I've printed everything and hidden it in my personal bag. At 5:15 p.m., as I'm leaving the office, I see Douglas and senior management laughing together by the coffee machine. They're talking about me. I can hear fragments, couldn't handle the pressure, and waste of promotion potential. He smirks when he sees me walk past. He thinks he's already won. He has no idea what tomorrow is going to bring. By 8:15 a.m., Douglas nearly explodes. He storms into my cubicle with his face turning purple. Why would she need to talk to you? He hisses, referring to the CEO's email requesting a meeting. There's real fear in his eyes now. Fear mixed with anger. He knows something is wrong. I meet his rage with something colder than ice. I guess she's just being thorough. He leans over my desk, trying to intimidate me. If you say anything about me that isn't completely accurate, Pamela, I will destroy your career. I will make sure nobody in this industry ever hires you again. I just stare at him, and I smile, not because I'm happy, but because in this moment I can see the future. I can see him fired. I can see his career in ashes. I can see the moment he realizes he made a catastrophic mistake by underestimating me. Good luck with your day, I say. He storms out, slamming his hand against a cubicle wall hard enough that everyone stops working and stares. That night, I don't sleep. I pull my laptop out and start working through system logs I've downloaded. I trace IP addresses. I create a timeline of every login associated with my account. I catalog every fraudulent approval, every timestamp, every digital fingerprint. The evidence is damning, and it all points to Douglas. He accessed my account from his personal computer at 2:17 a.m. using credentials he shouldn't have. The IP address on file is his home network. The email chain shows him requesting vendor information from a shell company. The vendor proposal lists a mailing address that doesn't actually exist. He's not clever enough to cover his tracks completely. He's not even close. I compile everything into a document. Not a dramatic expose. Just facts, numbers, timestamps, screenshots, evidence that speaks for itself. By 8:30 a.m., I'm outside the CEO's office with my laptop and my comm. Douglas is pacing nearby, watching. He's nervous now. His arrogance is cracking. He doesn't understand that I'm not fighting back with anger. I'm fighting back with truth, and truth is the only weapon that matters. The CEO's assistant waves me through. She's ready for you, Pamela. Douglas's jaw clenches as I pass. He's paralyzed by the knowledge that something terrible is about to happen, but he can't stop it. Evelyn Cross's office overlooks the entire city. She's sharp, direct, and when she looks at you, you feel like she's reading your entire life story in one glance. She gestures to the chair across from her, and I sit. Walk me through your workflow, she says. Everything about vendor approvals. I want to understand the process completely. I do exactly that. I explain every step, every safeguard, every procedure that should be in place. My voice is steady. My hands don't shake. When a new vendor wants to work with us, they submit a proposal through our system. I review it for basic qualification and legitimacy. We verify their business license. We check their history. Then the procurement team conducts a deeper financial review. After that, I sign off on the vendor relationship. I pause deliberately. Show me a vendor approval, Evelyn says. I pull out the documentation for Pinnacle Systems Holdings, the fraudulent approval, the one with my signature forged on it. This approval here, I say, pointing to it. I supposedly signed this at 2:17 a.m. on Monday, January 15th. But I was at home sleeping that night, 30 miles away, unaware that someone was accessing my account and using my credentials to authorize a $2.1 million payment to a vendor I've never heard of. The office goes quiet. Evelyn's expression shifts. Her eyes narrow. She reaches for the document and pulls it closer. Walk me through this, she says quietly. I do. I show her the IP address from the login. It's not my home network. It's registered to the suburban neighborhood where Douglas lives. I show her the email chain where Douglas requested preliminary information about Pinnacle Systems Holdings from his cousin. I show her the vendor proposal with a fake mailing address. With each piece of evidence, Evelyn's expression grows darker. This is a shell company, she says. It's not a question. Yes. And the approval was forged using your credentials. Yes. Behind me, I can hear Douglas becoming very, very still. I don't need to see him. I can feel his entire world collapsing. Show me everything, Evelyn says quietly. I walk her through it all. The server logs, the IP traces, the email chains, the vendor research proving Pinnacle Systems Holdings is fraudulent. Every piece of evidence I spent all night documenting. It takes 30 minutes. By the end, Evelyn has her hand to her temple, and her expression is pure disgust. This is fraud, she says finally. Yes. And it implicates your boss. The digital evidence suggests his involvement, yes. Evelyn stands and walks to the window. She looks out at the city for a long moment. When she finally turns back to me, there's controlled fury in her eyes that I'm glad isn't directed at me. You came directly to me with this, she says. You didn't go to HR. You didn't send an email. You gathered evidence and brought it to me in person. I felt it was the right approach. It was absolutely the right approach, she says. If this had gotten out through official channels, there would be lawyers, delays, political maneuvering. She pauses. Instead, I now have irrefutable proof of fraud. Well done, Pamela. This took courage and intelligence. She sits back down and picks up her phone. I'm calling our legal team and IT. Nobody is to touch Douglas's account or any vendor records until we've completed a full forensic audit. Understood, I say. You're released from your current duties, effective immediately. You'll be assisting me and our legal team with this investigation. Your new salary reflects a promotion to senior analyst, pending the outcome of this audit. That's non-negotiable. I nod. There's nothing to say. The evidence speaks for itself. Back at my desk, I wait. The CEO's legal team will handle the investigation now. By 11 a.m., Douglas is called into the CEO's office. He returns 20 minutes later looking absolutely shell-shocked. His face is drained of color. His hands are shaking. He just gathers his personal items and leaves. I watch him go with absolutely no satisfaction. There's just the quiet knowledge that the truth won. Victor comes to me 3 days later. He hands me a printed email chain without saying a word. It's Douglas asking Victor to confirm that I was making mistakes with vendor approvals. Douglas asking Victor to go on record saying I was incompetent and irresponsible. Douglas asking Victor to help him fabricate a narrative that would make me the villain. Victor had refused. He'd said no in writing. You were right all along, Victor says quietly. I nod. I say nothing. The dominoes begin to fall with perfect precision. A vendor contacts the CEO directly about irregularities in approvals. They mention Pinnacle Systems Holdings. They mention that nobody could provide legitimate justification for working with them. Douglas tries to intercept the emails, but it's too late. The CEO is already investigating. The audit department launches a formal internal review. IT begins forensic analysis of server logs and account access. Every document I painstakingly compiled lands on their desks, organized and undeniable. Douglas starts making mistakes. His paranoia becomes his enemy. He sends unnecessary emails CCing senior management, each one painting him as more guilty and more desperate. He yells at team members over minor issues. His temper becomes the thing everyone notices. I watch all of it happen from my new position as senior analyst working directly for the CEO. I remain calm. I remain professional. I never say a word about his behavior. The investigation takes 10 days. By day 10, the evidence is absolutely undeniable. The forensic audit confirms everything. Douglas accessed my account without authorization. Douglas created a shell company using his cousin's information. Douglas attempted to funnel $2.1 million through a fraudulent vendor relationship. Douglas was planning to take a cut of those funds, a kickback scheme split with his cousin. The motive becomes clear. Douglas knew he was incompetent. He couldn't build his career on actual talent. So he decided to steal. And he decided to set me up as the fall guy. 2 hours after Douglas is called into the CEO's office, a company-wide email is sent. Douglas has been terminated for gross misconduct, fraud, and breach of fiduciary duty. His access to all company systems has been revoked effective immediately. I'm in the hallway when he leaves. He doesn't see me at first. He's walking with his head down, a cardboard box of his personal items in his hands. His jacket is wrinkled. His hair is messy. He looks like a man who has aged 10 years in 10 days. When he does see me, he stops. Our eyes meet. And in that moment, I see the full weight of his realization. I beat him. Not with anger. Not with drama. Not with matching his cruelty with my own. I beat him with intelligence, patience, and truth. He opens his mouth like he's going to say something. Then he closes it. There's nothing left to say. The silence between us contains everything. Security escorts him to the elevator. I watch him go. Evelyn calls me into her office that afternoon. She's smiling with genuine respect. You handled that with remarkable composure, she says. You knew something was wrong, and instead of going to me immediately, you built an airtight case. You let him make his own mistakes. You gathered evidence. You presented facts. That's the kind of thinking this company needs in leadership. I don't say anything profound. I just thank her. I'm promoting you to Senior Vendor Relations Manager, she continues. You'll report directly to me. Your salary increases by 30%, and you'll have full authority over all vendor approval processes, effective immediately. 6 months later, I'm sitting in a new office that overlooks the city. My new title is Senior Vendor Relations Manager. My salary has increased by another 15% based on performance. And every morning I walk past the spot where my desk used to be, where that crooked sign hung like a monument to stupidity. Sometimes I think about that moment, standing in front of everyone while they laughed, feeling the weight of public humiliation pressing down on me. I think about how I could have quit. I could have screamed. I could have burned the entire office down on my way out the door. But I didn't. I chose something harder than anger. I chose patience. I chose evidence. I chose to let him destroy himself with his own arrogance and lies. And that made all the difference. The revenge that tastes sweetest isn't the loud kind. It's not the kind that involves yelling or fighting or making a scene. It's the kind that whispers. It's the kind that's built on facts and timing and waiting for the right moment to let the truth do what it does best, obliterate lies. Douglas is gone. Nobody talks about him anymore. He's become a cautionary tale that nobody wants to repeat. And I sit in an office overlooking the city with a clear conscience and a career built on something he could never understand. Justice isn't loud. Justice is clean, precise, undeniable. And sometimes the best revenge is simply winning.